course, the obvious first question here is Mr. Jeremiah Smith. What do you think of him? How do you compare him to what you did as a freshman at Ohio State?
I don't think the great receivers at Ohio State that we compare each other to one another, especially when you're talking about 40 years ago. So he is everything that you would want from a freshman receiver. He's the best player in the country. He has an unbelievable work ethic. His high school coach and the people he had around him have really done a great job. He's humble as can be, and you can see that. He's one of the first in the building at Ohio State. He's one of the last ones to leave. He has a professional mentality, a lot like some of the other great receivers that we saw at a young age. Julio Jones, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, all those guys were unique in their own way, and so is JJ.
You were 18 or 19 at one time doing some of the same things he did. I don't know if you've met, but what would you say to him right now?
No, I just encourage him. I encourage him to stay on the path, stay focused on the main thing. And the main thing is being the best version of himself every single day. So we have a good nucleus of people around him. He has probably the best wide receiver coach in college football, Brian Hartline, a guy that not only played at Ohio State, recruited Ohio State, but played professionally and has recruited a lot of these five-star guys that we have. So human development is the number one thing. Get better at everything, his releases, his route running, 50-50 balls. As we can see as the season's gone on, he's gotten better. And he's going to get a lot better before he gets drafted in the NFL in a couple years.
Historical perspective, what is it about OSU and receivers? Because they just keep pumping them out. Right now, they may have the best receiver room in the country. You're part of that legacy. What is it?
Well, first of all, you got to get somebody to get it started. And I was the first one to trust the Buckeyes that if they got a quality receiver there, they would throw the football to him. And then after that, subsequently, guys have followed. Now, what Ryan Day has done with the quarterbacks, because we've had wide receivers before, but we've never had the volume of throwers of the football that we have now. You see C.J. Stroud playing in the league, and the offense they run, scoring 40 points a game. So it's very, very advantageous when you have someone like Hartline, Ryan Day combination, play on the stage of the Buckeyes, and we have the elite quarterback play that we're getting now.
Yeah. The touchstone for this season is that Michigan loss. What did you take from that day, and what has happened to this team since then to get to this point?
Well, they're playing their best football. That was just a bad 4 quarters of football. And in football, it can happen. You can be better than a team, and a team can beat you. I think they went about it the right way. They just didn't execute. You know, you throw an interception early in the game, give Michigan the ball inside the 5-yard line. That's the only time they scored the whole game. So the defense, they really did their job. As a team, they didn't. As a special teams unit, they didn't. So now Ryan Day gets all the blame. But you want your team peaking at the right time. That's what we saw Tennessee. That's what we saw Oregon. That's what we saw against Texas. That's what we're going to see against Notre Dame.
All right, what are we going to see against Notre Dame? Break this down real quick.
If they play man-to-man, the most man-to-man snaps in college football, then it's going to be hard to keep Ohio State under 35 points. I don't see Notre Dame scoring more than 21 points against that defense. And if that quarterback decides to run the ball 15 times on all those quarterback runs, he's definitely going to get hurt.
You had the mindset of Chip Kelly. I asked him about that. He said, you know, Oregon tried to play man-to-man. Some other teams tried to play man-to-man. I said, why do they do that? He said, bravado.
Well, style. Yeah. But that's their best coverage is man-to-man. So I don't think it's an ego thing. I think what we do best is man-to-man. And then some days, like in the NFL, you run into a guy that his best is better than your best. And that's what we're hoping for tomorrow.
One of the all-time greats, Cris Carter, thank you.
Thank you, sir.